The sellout crowd are enjoying the action here at the Manchester Velodrome, and now it's the start of the men's scratch race. Now then, we have an interesting anomaly here. We've actually mic'd up Luke Rowe of the Sky team, and he's also got a camera on the front of his bike. So that should prove to be very interesting once the gun fires and the action is on.
Hey, I'm going to attack with 20 laps to go, okay? And then I explode and come back. So just let me go and then I come back. Whoa.
Well, we'll see whether or not Luke Rowe can be true to his boast. He said he's going to attack with 20 laps to go. So we're going to watch and see what happens before we get there.
Hey, play the game a bit.
And now on the front, it's his teammate, Peter Kenniak. So Kenniak is looking after the interests of Rowe, keeping the tempo high and trying to prevent anybody else from attacking.
You want to go? You want to go? You want to go?
Well, they're slightly undecided. They're asking the question, do you want to go? Do you want to go? And at the moment, they're not going, but they're thinking about it. Riders from Scotland near the front as the whole field stay bunched together. Ed Clancy's in the wheels here, back from injury. There he is, right on the front. And Clancy, of course, is a very, very strong finisher. The two riders from Maloya Push Bikers, Heslich and Graf, are in the field. And they're going to need some watching as well because they're both very powerful finishers. Remember, Luke Rowe has said he's going to have a go with 20 laps remaining. So they're still thinking about it.
Hey, you want to hit it? You want to go?
Well, he hasn't gone, but other riders have, although they're only just slightly off the front. That's one of the two from Maloya Push Bikers. And on the front now, it is Luke Rowe having a crack. So Luke Rowe has decided now is the time to ignite the burners and try and distance himself from the rest. But he immediately is being chased down by other strong riders as well. Scott Law, the Australian of Orica Green Edge, is there. He's the national champion for Australia, tucked in there at the back of the three. Also in that group is Phil Trodden of Rigmar Racers, and Andy Tennant of Madison Genesis is coming up to join them. So that will be a quintet at a clear, and that is a very strong composition of riders. You can see already that they are a third of the lap clear, and they're starting to work consistently. So Rowe, true to his boast, has gone away, but he's got to be aware of the strength of the men he's taken with him. Graf there, the German from Maloya Push Bikers, on the front at the moment, is somebody he will be fully aware of if he comes to the finish. And of course the Australian Scott Law, this is his speciality. Well, he said it would be 20 to go, and he went, and they went inside 20 to go, and the closing stages are now beginning to unfold. But this is looking very, very good for these five riders. There is Tennant, rangy rider, team pursuit specialist, and trying to come across the gap is Mark Stewart in the blue, the Scot. He is the national points race champion, as we see his teammate further back in the peloton. Well, this group is growing, okay, one by one, but it's growing, and I just saw another rider jumping off the front of the peloton, and that looked like the colours of Wim Strottinger, the Dutchman, on the Telegraph All-Stars. But yep, he's made it. Stewart's joined the group now. We've got 6 riders away, and the closing stages are getting very, very near now. They're working well, these 6, and I can't see anybody else managing to pull the group back. And you can see that the distance is growing all the time. And Strottinger, look at that, what a ride by the Dutchman. You can see the front of the breakaway group has got the tail of the peloton in their sights, and Strottinger, who's won a silver medal twice in the World Champs, is coming up to join them. What a ride by him. The question you've got to ask yourself, will he have any strength left to contest the sprint? And the leaders join the back of the peloton to gain the lap. Look at Luke Rowe. He's trying to get the crowd pumped up, as much as to say, well, what do you think about that, folks? And I tell you what, the crowd responded. Now then, can Rowe polish this one off with a victory? He's going to be looking for the help from his teammate, and that's Peter Kenniak, the Flying Manxman, who's just ahead of him at the moment. He'll be looking to give a lead out to the Welshman Rowe. Now then, Chris Latham is having a go here now. The lone rider fancying his chances, but he surely cannot take a lap on his own and gain the back of the peloton. So they're taking a breather now. I should think so as well after the pressure that's been applied. But of course, the brace of riders from Sky will be fully aware of the finishing speed of Scott Law and Andreas Graf, the German.
A lead up, but not yet.
Chris Latham, well, there's the gap he's established. It's about 80 metres, and he's still having a crack. He believes he can get this lap back.
Yeah, stay with me.
I think the comment there was, stay with me, Peter, stay with me. So he's asking Kenyuk to stay with him. And the reason for that is he wants the Manxman to lead him out.
The Aussie isn't. Leave him, it's okay.
I think that comment then from Rowe was the concern about the Australian, Scott Law. I mentioned earlier in the commentary, he's the national champion. Look, he's second wheel at the moment, and he must be licking his lips at the development here.
No, not yet, not yet. Stay on me, let it go. No, it's right, it's right.
They're still talking about when they're going to apply the pressure, and Rowe said, not yet, not yet. But the man that's whipping up the pace on the front at the moment is the Welshman, Sam Harrison, and you can see the leading contenders who've gained that lap are just a little bit further behind. There's the Australian on the left of our screen looking down at the two riders from Sky. That's Kenyuk and Luke Rowe. We're inside the final 2 laps. Now then, Peter Kenyuk out of the saddle, trying to lift the pace even more and try and deny the Australian the victory, but here he goes. Scott Law has gone. He's already opened a length and a half advantage, and he's pedalling speed here. He's sending him further and further away. That's the shot off the front of Rowe's bike, and it's not the shot he wanted because he knows he can't get on terms. Over the line, victory for Scott Law, the Australian, from Wim Strottinger, the Dutchman, and Luke Rowe coming in for third. Well, he's happy about that. And really, you've got to pat Strottinger on the back because remember, he was the last to join the leading group and he did it on his own, and he's still got the strength to finish second. There we are, sportingly acknowledged by Rowe. You were the best in the scratch race. Law of Australia the winner, and there's the result confirmed. The sellout crowd are enjoying the action here at the Manchester Velodrome, and now it's the start of the men's scratch race. Just an anomaly. We've actually mic'd up Luke Rowe of the Sky, and he's also got a camera on the front of his bike, so that should prove to be very interesting once the gun fires and the action is on.
Hey, I'm gonna with 20 laps to go, okay? And then I explode and come back. So just let me go and then I come back. Whoa.
Well, we'll see or not Luke Rowe can be true to his boast. He said he's going to attack with 20 laps to go. So we're going to watch and see what happens before we get there.
Hey, play the game a bit.
And now on the front, it's his teammate, Peter Kenyuk. So Kenyuk is looking after the interests of Rowe, keeping the tempo high and trying to prevent anybody else from attacking.
You want to go? You want to go? Go.
Well, they're slightly undecided. They're asking the, do you want to go? Do you want to go? And at the moment, they're not going, but they're thinking about it. From Scotland near the front as the whole field stay bunched together. Ed Clancy's in the wheel from injury. There he is, right on the front. And Clancy, of course, is a very strong finisher. The two riders from Maloya push bikers, Heslich and Graffer in the field. And they're going to need some watching as well because they're both very powerful finishers. Remember, Luke Rowe has said he's going to have a go with 20 laps. So they're still thinking about it.
Hey, you want to hit it? You want to go?
Well, he hasn't gone.